Let's play a game. Let's do an audio test. My space isn't set up the way I want it to be, and I found a corner in my house. And yes, I'm sing-songing a little bit for no particular reason, because it's been a weird day and a weird week and a weird world and a weird fucking universe of late. Things I could tell you. I think there's a very good chance that we are moving parallel through connected realities. And for those of you who are on a similar track to mine, be aware that I was informed that for those of us who are doing clearing and healing work around the core of the planet, around fundamentally some of the darkest, deepest pains and broken parts of the world and the larger universe, we have shifted. And you're probably aware of this, but what might not make sense is that you're getting clear. You think you're doing all this inner process work. Your life may even be getting better. You may feel like on a personal level, things are great and you're really, really, really happy with where things are. And at the same time, you're looking around at the big, wide fucking world and saying, but it's getting weirder and stupider and just there's so much more pain and people are hurting each other and I don't understand what I'm doing wrong. But that's the thing. You're not here because everything was fine. Whatever your circumstance, wherever you are, whatever you're doing for a living, if you found this video and you resonate with this, hear me. At the moment, and for the last while, things have been getting worse because you, as a healing entity, exist to draw out, confront, and treat the source of whatever this illness is. And so, weirdly, although it seems counterproductive, you need to understand that the closer to the center of the pain you get, the worse it is. Because we haven't gotten through it yet. There's still a deeper place to go. In my work, I was informed by my guides specifically that I had been traveling, as had many of us, parallel through these different realities, getting closer with each reality, with each jump and transition to the source of the worst of it. The worst of humanity, the worst of Earth, the worst of the universe, in a lot of respects. And the worst of myself. And that, while I was protected and held and supported, this last jump was going to be the worst one yet. I realized, in particular, that this version of reality was a crueler, much more messed up world because my husband and I were watching the Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer Claymation Special. For those of you who have seen it, maybe a bunch of you remember that in that version, the version I grew up with and lived with, there's an elf. He's a dentist. That's all he's ever wanted to be. And of course, him and Rudolph are misfits, so they don't fit in. And his desire to be a dentist is considered absolutely untenable for an elf. He has a very specific role and purpose to fulfill in his society. And so they run away from home. Yes, spoilers, it's been around a long time. But here's the thing. In the version that I grew up with, the version that I'd actually seen in the last 10 years, so I'm not just going off of childhood memories, the elf, at one point, they're dealing with an angry, abominable snowman. And the elf, as a dentist, is able to help fix the teeth of the abominable snowman. And this leads him to be a much happier, helpful Yeti. And less abominable and more adorable. But here's the thing. I watched it with my husband this holiday. And Mark and I stared at this thing in horror, as part of the script is that this elf pulls out all the teeth of the abominable snowman when he has a toothache, and then they put a fucking metal thing on his mouth. And I gotta tell you, like, this is when I realized, like, I am not living in the same world I grew up in. But beyond that, like, not as in, like, things have changed through time, but, like, this is actually not the reality that I come from. And more than that, like, that this reality is a much crueler, more savage world. And those of you who don't believe in the Mandela effect, like, fine. You can believe whatever you want. You absolutely have that right. But I am just telling those of you who are in this place, like me, where you've come through a whole bunch of stuff, and you've come out on the other side, and you are seeing how much healing and work you've done, and you might even be feeling good about your own personal journey. But you're looking around, wondering, well, if everything external is a reflection of the internal, right? As above, so below. What is going on? What's wrong with me? Nothing. This is what you're here to do. You are traveling to the place where the deepest pain exists, and that means it's not fun. In the past, attempts have been made to simply transform the energy, to paper over it, to bury it, to co-opt it. None of that works. It has to be rooted out and eradicated. That's the truth. So, keep doing your healing work. Know that from my information, we have significant astrological configurations around change and transformation in the next couple of months. This year is a really big year, and there are several key pivot points where we could shift energy in a big way. And that we need to. And that I was at least told this next one was going to be the hardest jump yet, but that when we got through it, truly got through it to the other side, we would have gotten through the worst bit. At the moment, it's easy to look around if you care about the world and other people and think it feels impossible, but it's not. We are many. We've always been many. The big lie is that we are less important, don't matter as much, are insignificant, and that money and power matter in the cosmos. The reality is, the more weighed down you are by stuff, expectations, rules of behavior, and other people's, just matter. The more you're weighed down by matter and the constructs of time, the less you can shift and move with the currents as needed. And there is a place for that. But right now, healers, don't panic. You're doing the right thing. If it's getting worse, it means you're moving closer to the center. Everything is being brought to light. It's being aired. It's not happening instantly, but instant change is not something we can necessarily trust. Miracles are always possible. So it says in Reiki. However, no less meaningful is the slow, gradual, evolving change that comes from doing deep work. And to simply yank out a thing and then replace it with positive energy, or not replace it with anything at all, leaves a vacuum in which everything else can rush in. This was one of the first things I learned about block removal. After I taught myself how to ground. Because it wasn't something I learned initially, and how to protect my energy effectively from taking on other people's stuff, which is a lifelong lesson, honestly, for an empath. I also learned that blocks they create space, and the older and longer a block has existed, and the more entrenched, the more stuff is underneath it, around it. It's like a really bad infection. We are at a point, humanity, where we have to either really root out this thing, or we need to cut off a limb. I'm not suggesting violence. I'm just saying we're at a point where, like, if we don't do something about this, nature and the universe will do it for us. It's already started. And I think it's important for us to acknowledge the illness that has us in its grip. We may not have a specific name for it. Everybody thinks they know what it is. I've heard a lot of theories, from capitalism to oligarchs to secret cabal of Illuminati to aliens to Wego? Oh dear, I can't remember the name of it, forgive me. But the spirit of sort of zombification that is deadening and that just wants to consume and destroy things. And that once it takes hold, people lose all empathy, caring, connection to the planet, and they consume. And they're full of hateful feelings. Whatever this thing is, it's not simply a thing that just randomly happened. It's a thing that's been fed and supported. It's been given sustenance. It's been cultivated. And I know it feels like it might be winning, but hear me. There's still time. We're on a curve, not a downward spiral. The reason that things feel like they're repeating themselves is we are traveling in a spiral. This is how DNA works as well, and how Kundalini energy works. It's traveling like this, okay? So what happens is you clear a thing, and then you hit the next level, and it feels like Why is this coming back? Maybe it's in a different form, but it's still related. It's because you're clearing the next thing. Then you're going to clear the next thing. Then you clear the next thing. Then you clear the next thing. Okay? You're not failing. Hold tight. Do the work. The thing that you feel most drawn to do, whatever it is, the thing that lights your heart up, that fills you with exuberance, anticipation. Trust me when I say those are the things that are needed. Your joy, your enthusiasm, your truth, the things that make you you, that are truly the things that only you can do, because only you have your mind, your heart, your feelings, your life experience, your personality. Whatever you're channeling through you, it comes through you. And no one else. No one else can channel it the same way. Right now, those things are yours. They're yours to give. And only through tapping into those energies can you, dear heart, my sweet soul, as I might say in my book, only then can you and I and those who care deeply combat this virus that wants to eliminate human creativity and spirit and kindness and truly love. I have goals this year, but my goals are based and all aim towards 4 very specific principles. The first is building community. I'm building a community. Slowly, but I am building a community. But I also belong to community, and it's about me supporting and being a part of those communities and the community that I'm growing. And I'm going to include a link for you to the community that I'm currently working on. Okay? It's a experiment, and I'm working on school because I wanted a low barrier to getting started. But I will be working in other interfaces in the future. And the first thing we're doing is I'm running a drop-in group every week for artists who are looking for a place to paint, who are having trouble carving out time. I want to provide some studio space for you. It's an online group. We will meet together. I will facilitate, but you will be painting for about an hour and a half. And there will be time at the end if you want to share, but we will also have a very hard no critique, be kind rule. And that will happen on Monday nights. So if this is something you're interested in, I would really love to have you come. If you don't paint or if you are not a professional artist, you are welcome. If you make stuff, if you work with plants, if you create art, if you weld, if you write, bring the real stuff from the bottom of your heart. No AI art, no computer stuff. This is about spending time in process and being in community together. 2, honoring my commitments to myself, to my communities, to complete the promises that I've made, willingly or not. Because sometimes people leave you things or give you things that obligate you. But yes, honoring my commitments. And then knowing myself. Because knowing myself means knowing everything better. Understanding the world better around me. Understanding how you and I relate better. Knowing myself means knowing everything. Just like you knowing yourself means knowing everything. And then to find love. That's my last one. And that last one, it matters so much. You know, It's been said so many times. It's a little trite, right? But love truly matters. It's not that it's the only thing that matters, but love underpins everything. These systems that are designed to suck the emotion out of like our creative processes, to rewrite our content in therapy speak in that kind of AI way that it does, so that it weaponizes the very language designed to help people process their feelings into a generic kind of elevator music of writing. All of that takes away from the truth. Find those things. If you want to come join me, I would love to create with you. But wherever you're coming from, just find a way. And continue to hold your heart open and continue to care. Even when that means sometimes your heart breaks, you want to punch things. Having real feelings means you're alive. And also, sometimes being angry is the correct response. It's not having feelings that's a problem. It's what you do with them. So, parallel realities, Mandela effect, blah, 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 spiritual shifts, awakenings, tumultuous times, bad shit happening in the world. You know all of this. And also, be not afraid. And even if you are, do it anyway. And know that all of us are trying to do our own best work. Do not turn away. Now is when you are called. Now is the time you are needed the most. Now is the time when what you are here to do needs to be done. So do it. There is no better time. Do not let the news, other people, your family, expectations, the fact that none of this feels real, or it just feels like so much, you don't know how to cope and you're overwhelmed. Don't let any of the external talk you out of living and being the person that you know you were born to be now that you are called. Be awake and do not let yourself be lulled into whatever that other state is. It's like doom scrolling, but for everything in your experience, isn't it? You're just sort of flipping through your day, your minutes, zoned out a bit. Yes, Gen Z, I hear you. You have a stare. I don't blame you. Continue to use it if you wish to conserve your energy, but I'm just saying, don't doom scroll your life. If anything, live it more vividly. Because this is the only life we have, and things are changing fast. That note. Blessings. Love always, and in all ways, love.